it can drive you crazy. Like, it's so difficult getting hold of money, even if I think everyone here can attest to it. Sometimes you work, and then after the job is done, the agency takes quite some time paying you, even if you've done the work and it's like wrapped and umemaliza kabisa. For me, what I do, ndo nisikauke kukauka, because after I've told even my group, hawezi kaa na ukule nyasi. You need money to survive. So for me, what works is I have many things happening concurrently. So if I did a gig in June and they haven't paid me in September, I still have another gig going on that is, I know I'll get money from it, and also my personal project, which I just decide, hey, you guys come, I cook for you, let's hang out for brunch, it will cost this amount of money. That's also another income stream, an ebook. Like, you have so many things happening at the same time, so that even if when you have a low season, it's not a zero bob season. It's a low season, but you still have some money coming in. Alafu pesa ikikuja, people, it's not time to party. Like, please calm down. First things first, eka pesa ya taxes kando. Don't mess with the government. Number 2, invest it back to your business. 3, savings. Then 4, ileta baki, you pay yourself. Then treat yourself. Treat yourself the same way when they're Spain for 1 month. Like, treat yourself within.
Unless you made 10 million.
Yeah, unless if you made 10 million, sour, enter New Zealand, whatever. But restraint, it's something you really have to plan. We get to the money you're getting is first and foremost for the business, and then for you.
Patricia.
So one of the things that, and this happened so serendipitously. Oh, wow, what a was. I cannot say it again. Wow, my tongue actually felt free. But when I first, my folks were living in Tanzania for a while. So when I was in my first year of university, they moved to TZ, which meant that was me moving out of home because I was not going to live in TZ. When I finished uni, they were still in Tanzania, so I had to come home and find a place to live. And in my head, I was ready for my first apartment because through uni, I'd also done small gigs, singing, performing here and there. So I'd already put my name out there. People would call me every once in a while for small voiceover gigs, acting, whatnot. So I looked for my first apartment, and the rent was 35K. Nice apartment, I lived there for 10 years, loved it. So I go back to my dad. My dad had agreed to pay half of it if my younger brother could live with me because he was in uni. He was just starting campus, right? So instead of paying for him to stay at the hostels, he'd stay with me. He could walk to school. It was Chiromo, he was in Chiromo campus. So I go back to my dad, I'm like, this is the rent. I didn't know that people negotiate certain things. Yeah. So my dad is like, did you negotiate? I'm like, no. Go back and negotiate. He's like, I go back to this lady and I say, okay, so my dad said I have to negotiate, so you have to bring down your rent. And she's like, okay, so I can only bring it down to 33,000 if you agree to pay it quarterly, so every 3 months. Because she said that's the only way a figure of 99K makes sense, because I have children and whatnot. So if you send me 99K every 3 months, it makes sense. It's not a small amount. I was like, okay. Because me, I say, no, see, you've set aside rent every month anyway. So I go back to my dad, I'm like, okay, so it's down to 33, but we have to pay every 3 months. He's like, what? What do you mean? What? Because him is thinking now he has to pay half of that rent all at once. But for me, it made sense. And that was the first time I had a big bill that, you know, in my head it's paying it quarterly. Until today, I pay my rent quarterly. Because in my head, even as my income started to increase, I would always think in terms of, okay, this amount will cover my rent for 6 months, it can pay for this amount of, so I started thinking about covering my necessary costs in chunks in advance. So then that way I have more space in my head to look for money, to look for bigger money, yeah, and to focus my energy on that, right? So now if you tell me I have to pay monthly rent, it's more stressful to me than paying quarterly rent but in big chunks, right? Because I'm able to then say, I don't have to think about this for 3 months, and I can focus on the things that I do effortlessly, which is my creativity, rather than focus on bills. Because as a creative, you'll find that a lot of times people struggle with the business aspect of things, right? So the admin bit of running your creative business can run you down so much that you end up not doing as much as you could.
Very true.
Then of course the thing about diversifying, don't let anybody tell you that you have to pick one thing and focus on it. We're in the life and times where people have various talents, right? And that's because so many new things are coming up. 10 years ago, there were no fitness instructors on YouTube, right? Who would say that that was a career. You had to go to a gym, yeah? Like for me to say, actually, if it wasn't for my discipline, I would probably be able to work out from home and still get the body that I want. The fact that now there's so many unconventional careers means there's so many talents that can be utilized. So whatever you feel is a talent is of value, and you can find a way to monetize it. Mimi napiganga story, saa zingine tutacheka, people then call me to MC. I will do it. So I will sing, I will MC, I'll host an event, I'll create content, I will do a comedy show. One day I'll cook with Kaluhi, and then maybe I'll cook something nice. I can even be a food blogger, but don't restrict yourself. There's so many things you can do if you diversify also your talent.
That's really great. Nessy?
She said it all. No, but for real, that point of not being forced to be one thing is so important. Because the thing about creatives is that we are so creative. Like somehow you'll find you can't just cook. Like now she can film.
And edit.
Right?
Edit.
So you just, the more you're in your content, the more you're. Anyway, I digress.
When I mentioned TZ as well, when my folks first moved to Tanzania, there you could only pay like rent in 6 months or a year.
Oh wow!
As much as it was cheaper than Nairobi, they still wanted. Even if you go to Dar now, like you have to pay maybe
Dubai.
6 months or a year's rent. So that was a thing that circumstances forced.
I'm also taking notes. This is so good. Then she said you have many options. Don't just do one thing. If you know you have more than one talent, try and explore as many of them as possible. Like, don't spread yourself thin, but if you can juggle designing and styling, do it. You can MC and sing, do it. You can talk to people and maybe teach a class, do it. Right? So that's how you have, as much as it's not consistent, you have other things that will supplement that dry period. I think I also answered that in our group, right?
Mine, I'll split it into 3 experiences. Number 1 is, do you have any Ugandan in this place? No. All right. We have a Ugandan.
At the back.
We do, at the back.
Yeah.
A lady or a dude?
A lady.
Jebare Nyabu. All right, so most of my education was in Uganda. My parents were there. I only did uni here and the first KG1s of kindergarten here. Okay, but the rest of it was in UG. So 2009, my parents come back to Kenya and abandoned there. I like to say that. I was with my sister. We abandoned there. My sister is in the house, right? Ivy, where are you? Oh yeah, there she is. Yes. So we were in school in UG for that means every 3 months you're not seeing mom and dad. Okay, you have to survive. What I used to do, and then sometimes my parents might have a hard time or forget to send pocket money or no visitation days. What I used to do is Ugandans don't know Mabuyu. Okay, so at that time you're staying in Coast. So I used to tell my mom, you see this jewelers for cowboy, as a cowboy. Fill that thing up with mabuyu, please. She used to fill it up, and I used to sell it for, I think, 1,000% profit. And they used to just get done like this. And I never used to give my sister some. So all the money was mine. I'm sorry. All the money was mine, but that is how it could help. That's number one. Number two was also in A-levels. The same thing. Like, I was already used to being abandoned. Now my sister could not handle it, so she came back and finished here. I started printing T-shirts. And just making it a lifestyle. Like, my school was called Boutique, so I was like Boutician, and I just sold shirts. On top of that, end of the semester, end of the term, people need to go home. I used to now organize transport for going out of again. I did that. Another experience that taught me now how to save, because that is now how to make money, right? Oh, one more of how to make money. I come back in Kenya. I have no friends because all my childhood friends are from UG, right? So here I have no friends, but I'm an artist. To be honest, if I was not a fitness trainer, I'm acting and doing all that. That's what I used to do a lot. So I'm chilling at Kenya National Theatre almost all the time. And I can get a gig for fashion modeling because I was modeling, but I was also a dancer. Don't go and look for those ones. I was just a dancer. So in one gig, I'm modeling, I go, change very fast, and I'm paid as a dancer on stage. So that's how I used to earn at the same time. The day I discovered a formula that would work for me and make me a billionaire, amen, amen, was when you get money, I cut it into half. What taught me that is when I was preparing to pay her bride price. Yeah. I am low-key a proud law, so I don't need harambes, even if I'm struggling. There's a few of the harambe, but as in, you know, that big one, oh, it can kill my ego. So I don't need that. So every client, now I'm already doing fitness training, right? Every client I get, let me say that I'm charging 20K, 16K and above, I cut it into half. So 7.5 savings. This 7.5 is what you're going to, it's going to pay my rent, my everything. So that 7.5, I just know it's dowry. Like that, keep going, transport, hotel, everything. It's true. Now listen, you're making a lot, like you're making money, and then I added an additional class. You know, pressures of life are really good. They expand your mind. What I did because of that pressure of, I've engaged her, yay, everyone is happy. Oh shit, I have to pay dowry now. I have to marry her. You know, it changes your mind. So what I did is I introduced an evening class, which I call Fit City in the evening. I just needed 10 clients. I got 6, but that was, and I charged it less, and I won't hide. That was 10K per month. That was 60 Gs free. All going where? So what I'm saying is when you get your money, you add other ways. In unconventional jobs, you can make money 1,000 ways. You have no limitation. But then get your money, cut it into half. This half can have savings, can have investments, can have taxes on its own. Then this other half, now you can find a way to see how you can live with it, rent and anything. And it works, to be honest, it works. Whichever business plan you have, even if you say I'm going to make this much, how much am I going to put back in the business? Just do half, 50%, all expenses, taxes, investing back in the other half. It makes sense for me, and that's what I've used.
Let me add. On that note, another way to spread out your money is to marry the right person.
I just went out of curiosity's sake. Like, udakutu. I didn't intend to take a loan, but I was like, how does it work for a creative, someone who doesn't get money consistently?
Yeah.
Because, okay, this is rookie knowledge. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I went to my bank and I was just like, I want a loan for 300K. But I wouldn't, like I was, sikuwa nataka kuchukua loan. Anyway, then they were like, okay, fine, let's check your account. Then they checked everything and they were like, okay, you have a lot of money in your account, but we still cannot give you a loan because you have low credit score. So for them, they were like, fine, you have a lot of money, but we need to know that you'll get the money back. And for us, it's a security thing. And the thing we look at is someone who gets money consistently. And as a creative, you know that's not the thing most of the time. So that can be a challenge if you are a creative, because you're not getting money consistently. And if you want a loan and you need a loan, actually na mimi nilikuwa nafanya just for sijui what sake, when you need a loan it will be a challenge. So what the lady at the bank told me is you need to just make sure you bank some money in your account per month consistently or per week. It doesn't have to be like 10 million or 600 billion killion, like just a certain amount of money so that you increase your credit score. As a creative, you need to have at least a good credit score, because it's a time maybe you want to get a loan for a vehicle for your business and then wakatai, but you really need it, then what will happen?
If I have this grand dream, there's two options: save up until I can afford it, or take a loan to make it happen. If it's a huge thing, if I want to, if I decide to save up for it, something like that might take me 10 years to save up that amount. It's not worth it in the long run. If I can take out a loan, do it sooner, right? And even though I might be in debt paying out this thing, but I've started the thing already because I had a plan and I put in the work to make that thing happen. You know, so my mom has 2 matatus. Me, I didn't even know my mom was into these things. But she bought one matatu because she was in a chama, and she took out a loan. And she still had her 9 to 5, right? But one day she called me and she told me, kuna pesa nimewekewa kwa account with my bank, because she was so good at paying that loan for the first matatu that they called her and said, would you like money for another one? And she had to think about it like, what? So she thought about it and then she said yes, bought the second matatu. So she increased her income, but she's still so good at paying out that loan. Yeah. So if she hadn't taken out the loan in the first place, imagine saving up for a matatu. You know what I mean? So that's the thing I learned about loans that I didn't know before. I still haven't needed to take out a loan, but I'm so much more open to it. I would much rather they spread out the pay as a retainer rather than one big payment, because it does look like a salary, which increases your credit score. So you look for engagements that put in a certain amount per month that it looks like a salary, so that you look like you're somebody who's more trustworthy in terms of paying back something. So even for me, I look for gigs that I'm still allowed to be a creative. For instance, my K1 gig, I get a salary from K1. So if I was ever to go to a bank because of needing something or the other, I have stability in my income in that way. So I have my smaller gigs. Some of them are bigger, but I ask them to break it up into a retainer, and that's what gives you security as well. Yeah.
First of all, just to clarify what they're saying, loans are helpful and all, but you have to have your reasons for wanting this loan. Don't get a loan to buy a Lamborghini so that you show people that you have a car. It has to make sense, and it has to be something that's going to pay for itself, as Patricia said. So you have to have a reason for getting this loan, and this reason has to be one that will pay for the loan itself. So don't be in debt. You are driving a nice car, they call it closet. You're driving a nice car and you're going hungry and you're stressed because you still have to pay for this car. A car is not a need, it's a want. So if you are able to find a way to save up towards it, do it. If you have a plan of how you're going to pay for it by taking a loan, then you can take the loan. But make sure you clarify your reasons. That's all I'd say.
I've never experienced loans apart from petty loans, like petty loans such as insurance loans. when I was still trying to impress her, and I'm broke. Yes, I'm paper. But it's because I knew she was mine, so anyway, I had to go through that. But don't take a loan. Don't take a loan on a person you're not sure of. I may say that. But what I've learned from loans is from one of my clients who's a very wealthy man. He told me loans are good. Why we make it bad is our attitudes towards it. So you have to just change your attitude towards it. You have to learn how to pay your loan like Patricia's mom, and that's it. Yeah. For me, entertainment, if you're creative and you're into entertainment, you have all the opportunities in the world, let me say. For example, let me tell you, opportunities even look for you. I'm not ashamed to say this, but I'm just going to show you what I mean by opportunity, right? I told you when I came back to the country, I was doing modeling right from campus, and a dancer, right? I entertain people in that form. Now the people that I'm entertaining are like, look at that guy, he's a model, that means maybe he looks attractive, and then he can dance. Maybe I should fly him to Miami to be a stripper. What I'm trying to say, this is the I'm never stripped, but what I'm trying to tell you, what I'm trying to show you is putting yourself out there and showing your talent can give you opportunity, right? Now, of course, I've never been a stripper, and I'm like, hell no, it doesn't go with my morals. But the thing is, from there, I've still gotten more jobs of dancing on other stages. Like, I remember when Strategy Africa is a modeling agency, Kitambo, I danced at our own thing, and I was making the same money paid to the models. You understand? I've been able to make double the money. So what I told my group is, opportunities will not find you. You have to go out there and make sure they find you. If you're sitting, just like how Patricia said, if you're sitting at home and waiting for it to get to you, sorry, you have to go out there, interact, tell people what you do, and let them see your passion in it. You get? Yeah. If you're not moving out there, then that opportunity won't come. You have to constantly show yourself. There's a definition I got of good luck. I've really forgotten. Is it when opportunity and something collide? Oh yeah, good luck, hard work. Yes, you still have to work hard, and then that opportunity will get you.
Yeah, as I was telling my group, you have to be in people's spaces.
Yeah.
Being a creative, I won't just look at you. Okay, maybe I'll look at you and know you're a fashion designer. But there's some other ninis that I can't just look at you and be like, oh, she can really cook. You know, it's not written on your forehead that I'm a great cook or I know how to make clothes. You know, so you have to be in someone's face. If you're in front of people who you've always wanted to work with Patricia, if you don't come and tell your Patricia here that you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, how will she know? Yeah. She's not the Holy Spirit. You have to come and be like, hi Patricia, I've always wanted to work with you. And they usually say you have 3 minutes before she's just like, no. Yeah. You have to 3 minutes, say exactly what you want.
And people will be polite to you. They'll be like, that's so great.
Yeah, I'll call you.
Okay.
No. You have to be in someone's face and you have to be very direct.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a fitness person. I want to do this. This is what I want. Don't be grey at you. I was just thinking. Perhaps
mentor me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? No, just say I'm willing to do this for you for the next 1 month. Is it possible for us to meet and talk? Blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, this is someone who, you know, yes, you have purpose. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So be in people's faces. If you're on social media and you sing, upload a video singing every day.
Yeah.
Kuchokeshe. We are here to
true. Like Aromat. Remember Aromat?
Yeah.
How do you bought it just
people's faces. We have to know, especially when the thing is we get so paralyzed when we are around forces, when we are around people we've always wanted to be around, you know, that like our mind just shuts off. It's just like, but you see, when you meet that person, that's the opportunity you have. Like this, you'll never meet Patricia again, maybe, perhaps, because she's busy, you know. Yeah. This is the only opportunity you have. So if you let her go, who are you going to blame? Yourself. So if you see an opportunity, grab it by the neck and choke it till it dies, like till you accomplish it.
And another thing I would say, especially on social media, if there are companies that you want to work with and you can envision the things that you can do for them already, do it. Like, don't wait for them to come looking for you.
Yeah.
So for instance, like one of the things that I would do with Mac, because I was using 1 or 2 Mac products, I would tag them in relevant content. See ati niko kwa boda boda na tag Mac. Because there's people who do that. They'll just tag 500 celebrities in their posts, which is so irrelevant and it's annoying. But if it's something relevant, for a company, for instance, like Safe Buddha have never, I don't even work with them, but I use Safe Buddha, and eventually tutafanya kazi pamoja, nitakula hiyo pesa yao. But in the meantime, I have to make it so that they see the kind of content. I can tell them, do you know the number of people who signed up to Safe Buddha because of me? You know what I mean? So if there's a company that you would like to work with that involves something like creating content or showcasing something that you have that's valuable, tag them, but make sure it's relevant. Because that's one way of showing a company, this is what I can do, right? Because eventually when Mark finally came and started opening their stores here, they go looking for people who they know or they've seen their content. Let us pay it back. You know, that's one of the ways. You have to be proactive. You can attach value to your work, but sometimes you have to create that work first, so that people see the value in it and then they can put their money into your work. See, kusema, me, I know I can create this content, but I have to be paid. And then you haven't shown people the kind of content you can make. And that's where passion then comes in. It has to be something that you can do with your eyes closed without being paid because you love it.
Sometimes also, see, you're creating things on social media, you have your audience. Sometimes the things your people suggest to you, maybe even as a question, can click in your mind as a money-making opportunity. For example, you're making dresses, but you've only been making dresses for campus people. Then someone asks you, hi, I like your dresses. Do you make dresses for weddings? Then at that moment, itakuwa zile za, okay, maybe this is a money-making opportunity. I can expand and start making wedding dresses. You see, some things your readers and your followers ask you as questions or suggest to you can be opportunities for you to make additional income and expand your brand. Maybe you're cooking or whatever, and they're like, I Kaluhi, me don't like how pilau masalas at supermarket dinner taste. But can you show us how to make pilau masala? And if you can you just package it for us? Imagine we'll buy. So maybe that for you can be another opportunity. We'll go, okay, maybe a spice line under my name. It sounds nice. Why not? You see, suggestions from other people can also lead you to new money-making opportunity.
Deals will take you in those rounds. Those of inheritance, I'm not really sure, but the ones who have really worked hard for it, they understand your struggle. So what I do is I do it in weeks, once a week. Make a call. I'm telling you my own experience. I made the call, no talking, right? I followed that call with what I wanted to say. It's normally annoying when you get a missed call, but you don't know what that person wants to say. Like, just follow up with a text. So I followed up with a text, right? Still didn't reply. I was like, let me give them 1 week. 1 week, the next week, I now didn't bother calling. I just text, hey sir, please, I'm with you. Just reply. Funny, now it shows that you're consistent and you're serious, really. Like, you have to consider that these guys are so used to such people always, coming, saying something and never following up. So for you to show, oh boss, niko hapa bado and I need your reply here. So in my case, the person replied. I first ran around the house. I'm like, babe, look. I was so happy. I was like, nice, now we're in this. So you don't have to be so much in their face, but how I do it is I spread it in weeks and make sure it's relevant. And then another thing I do is show them your progress. Even if they're not replying, just show them your progress. You know, consistency, I'm sorry to say this, to use this example, but you know that some girls will eventually date a dude who has been consistent. Yeah. It's almost the same thing with these investors. Spread it in 2 weeks. Make sure you show, like for me, I now have to show, so far this is what I've done, and I'm happy to show you how it's going to be. Please let me know when you can meet. They will say, good job. They won't tell you, you can meet this. Cool, hang it there. Be patient. Next week, hey yo, today, but okay, not hey yo, the language. But as in, I'm trying to explain, just, it's like you're documenting in text. Don't make it long, make it short and quick, and just be consistent. Sometimes it will not happen in that year, but 2 years from now, that same person can call you talking about, like, now they're ready for that opportunity. And from there, things are smooth sailing. Okay, so don't give up. Just, you're still young, you have a lot of time. Just keep being consistent.
Sorry, unajua tunaweza ongea mpaka kesho. One thing I've learned about myself, I don't like meetings.
Same.
Like
meetings,
meetings are honestly, they can be a waste of time. You've seen this meeting could have been an email. There's a lot of that. But also when somebody tells you, I just need 30 minutes of your time, they don't consider that for you getting to that place and back to what you are doing is another 2 hours. So for me, anybody who has asked, anybody who I've ended up working with, who had reached out to me about something, one, they came to K1 on Wednesday because I'm there every Wednesday. They just took it upon themselves to come to where I am, or to reach out and say, hey, I'd really like to meet with you. Would it be okay if I came to K1 and we could speak for maybe 10 minutes while I break something down to you? So already that just shows that that's somebody who's taken the time to research on the person that they want to meet. 2, they've taken the time to then be courteous enough to ask if it's okay to come to this place, right? And 3, like there's a lot of, earlier this year I put out a call for assistance. Let me tell you, the way I was feeling overwhelmed at that time and feeling like I needed an assistant, I got about 400 emails. I didn't even manage to go through all of them. Can you imagine your inbox just, and that 400 is just based on counting in the first 2 weeks because they keep coming. And there's somebody who came to K1 and said, I can imagine you must have gotten a lot of emails. Maybe I can just help you go through them. Like honestly, that's all he said. He's like, maybe I can help you go through them and then maybe help you find an assistant through that. He didn't even come to me to be my assistant. I was like, you know what? How about how about we work together, right? And from that interaction, we were able to work together and I figured out what his strengths were, what his interests are, right? And while he's now not my assistant, but I know the ways in which he can assist me. Someone else came to me this week, he said, hey, this is what I've been doing. He's somebody who listens to my show, he's interested in the music, he engages with me during Afro Central. He'd also, whenever my friends and I have an event, he'd reach out and say, hey, can I help you spread the word? This is a page I have, I can share about the event. Now he reached out to me, he said, I quit my 9 to 5, but I have this thing, I'm really good at events. Can I come to K1 and just talk to you for about 10 minutes? And he just came and basically broke down, this is what I'd like to do for you. I'm willing to do it on a volunteer basis. I don't believe in that. I believe that I should be able to pay for a service. There's value in it because it's going to save me something. So I was like, you know what, it's perfect. There's an event I'm putting together for the end of the year. We're going to work together. And it was 5 minutes, by the way. Because people who are like, I want to meet with you, they don't maybe think about what that is taking you away from, in terms of the things that you do. And also another thing, there's a guy who reached out to me maybe a couple of years ago. He was working in Malawi. He put me onto an artist. Cool. Responded to his email. We've been chatting since. He's now moved back to Kenya. He engages on Twitter with Afro Central. He reached out to a friend of mine. He'd taken some of her words from her vlog, created a beat, and had reached out to her and said, hey, I've created this beat with your voice, can I get clearance? He reached out on Tuesday. Thursday, he reaches out to me, he's like, hey, I've written to your friend, she doesn't respond to emails, can you tell her this, So I took a screenshot of the convo, sent it to her, because she's busy, she's like hella busy.
Yeah.
So she's like, I saw this guy, I haven't had a chance to listen to the thing, but he also like flooded, he sent me an email, he came to my DMs on Instagram, he needed on Twitter, he sent somebody else to reach out to me. And then she said, and he only reached out to me on Tuesday. And I was like, wait, it hasn't even been 48 hours. Some people will be responded to in a week, you know, because people have stuff going on. And so eventually she said, I'll reach out to him. And then he sent me an email and said she finally responded. And then I had to tell him, imagine people will work according to their schedule, not yours, right? So you might expect, you have expectations that somebody will respond to you. I get so many people of, and I sent you a DM, and I'm like, if you know the number of DMs I get in a day, and the number of DMs I try to get through, if I haven't been on Instagram, say for 3 hours, right, I'll go back to 100 DMs. First, there are 2 folders. There's one that's to show you, and then there's the one that I show you. If I get on back now, and somebody sends me a DM a minute ago, I'll see that one. I'll see the one under that. If I go off, come back at 8 p.m., if you sent me 5 minutes from now and I didn't see it, imagine it's being pushed down. So as people will try to respond to you as much as possible, but it's also in their time, because they also are doing things that they're struggling to do. So how do you make it easy for somebody, one, to see what you've sent, to get all the information that they need from whatever you've sent them. Like, say everything at once, hi, hi, how are you today? So you started to build small talk. When somebody is busy, ako kwa gym, ako na clients ka, unajua gym pia unajua si rahisi. So somebody is coming, he's posting his things, you're assuming that because they're posting the workout, they're just on Instagram also. So a lot of times you have to be so smart in how not only you grab these opportunities, but also how you reach out to the people who you imagine can assist you to get to these opportunities. And a lot of times, even how you put yourself out to somebody, they'll judge you just through that email, and they'll decide whether it's worth their time or not. So you have to, and it's so easy to just use the internet. How to reach out to my mentor. That's all you need to, and just, so it starts from even how you approach somebody. What are you ask a mentor for, can I meet with you? I want you to teach me this. You've already said what you want from them. So you've come asking, give me. What of value do you have that you can offer them in return, so that it's a barter, right? So that you guys can both learn from each other. This person became my assistant for 3 months. I paid him for 3 months. And then even then I was able to then advise him. These are your strengths. We now know what you're happy doing. You want to get into theater. We will work together on this project. But as my assistant, I need somebody else who can push me. Mimi, he wanted me to tell him what I need him to do. Me, I need somebody who tells me, but you need to do this today. And those are my weaknesses. But we'd never have been able to figure that out if he hadn't just come to Speaker Box and approached me and said, can I help you with this? So a lot of times also come with, how can I assist you? And then this is what and be clear with what it is that you want.
Nessy? Just to answer you, you've said a lot.
No, it's okay. I really talk a lot. That's why I'm on radio, because I talk a lot.
Anyway, to answer your question, I'll approach it in 2 ways. The first thing is, what do you want them to invest in? If it's something you can save up for and you're patient enough to save up the money and do by yourself, there is no need to look for an investor for that. But if it's something you need from them, then as Patricia is saying, you go to where they are. Maybe when they get home, they just want to log off and chill with their children and, I don't know, maybe make a meal or something. So your DM or your text or your call might be shunned. But if you know their workplace, you know they are in the office from 9 to 5, as she's saying, do your research, you know, they show up on Saturday at this and this place from
But
this
don't
time
be a
to this
stalker.
time. Yeah. Just show up once, guys. I think from that one meeting you'll get your answer. And maybe give it time and then show up again and be like, yeah, I saw you 2 weeks ago. I still have that proposal. I've reviewed it. This is what I'm thinking now. Because the more you marinate on your proposal, the more you get loopholes, the more you get different approaches of how to meet this guy. So do your research on that person. Find them in their place of work. Because when they're in the place of work, they're in that mind frame of, okay, we are working. I could receive a proposal anytime, so they are ready. But when he's home, he just wants to cuddle with his wife. Or, you know, perhaps, or cook a meal, or chill with the babies, or take a walk, you know, such things, because you need to find them in that right mind. Yeah.
Right. Thank you guys for replying to my DMs. They have good idea. But don't be afraid to DM.
But and also no is an opportunity to learn. Nobody owes you anything. That's what I want to say. An investor you've approached doesn't owe you their money. A sponsor you want to work with doesn't owe you their money. Everybody is in it to make their own money. But if you send a proposal that you worked hard on and somebody says no, imagine you can also be like, thank you so much for taking your time. Do you mind telling me what I should improve on? What would have made you say yes? Like, you can also ask and also just be grateful for their time, by the way, because they'll be like, okay, this is somebody who's so interested. Let me okay. Ungefanya hivi, yeah, because for me, I would have liked to see how I make money. Me, the proposals I've sent out, to be honest, mtu mwenye amesema no, I'm like, okay, what should I add? Yeah, sometimes it's not even about meeting with somebody. It's like, okay, you work in this company. Could I please send you my profile and rate card? Yeah, tell me what I need to take out. Tell me what I need to put in because you work in such companies. Even respond on WhatsApp. It doesn't have to be a meeting. It doesn't have to be an email. Make it as easy and as less time consuming as possible for somebody to help you. Those tips can further your career in ways that you don't imagine. And imagine you never ever have to meet with that person. Yeah.
For me, my parting word is, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to start, imagine, just start. Yes, you need a plan, but once you have everything set and it makes sense in your mind, just start. Start where you are, start with what you have, you'll be fine. Just start. Yeah.
Yes, Patricia.
Final. I will divide them into 1, 2, 3, and 1. I think I'd just expand on what she said. If you already have that idea in your mind, whatever you conceive, you can achieve. I was a slave to, I need to do this first. I need to get this camera. I need to do this. I need to have this before I can start. And I robbed myself of growth because the first thing you do will not be your best, but it will help you to get to the second and then to the third. I started my YouTube channel in 2009, but my first vlog was posted in 2017 because of procrastinating and being a perfectionist. Because I only put up 4 videos. The first 3 were in 2010 that somebody else shot of me singing. Then 1 was just somewhere having fun. But the vlog that I wanted to do, it took so long for me to do it because in my head I wanted to be like Steven Spielberg. It has to be perfect. So when I put up the vlog teaser in 2017, I said I don't care if it looks bad, but I'll put it and I'll never delete it because every time I'm doubting, I'll be able to go back to that first vlog teaser and say, you know what, this day I thought I'd really edited a good video. And then look at them moving forward and seeing how I've grown over the years. And that has helped me, even though I'm not as consistent as I'd like to be, when I am, I post and I keep getting better. So allow yourself the opportunity to grow and to learn from the mistakes which are inevitable. Mistakes are not to tell you that you can't do it. They're for you to grow from so that you learn what not to do moving forward and how to improve on what you've done.
What I tell you is to be patient. Like, what's the rush? Like, why are you rushing? Why do you want a million shillings by the time you're 25? I'm speaking to myself, guys. So, like, you need to be patient. You need to better yourself before you can even do anything great. You have to mind, body, and soul. You have to be okay. Like, take care of your mind, take care of your body, take care of your soul. Make sure you're doing what you love. I know you know what I'm saying. Just live in your bliss. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, just be patient. Respect the process because it's a process. Don't be a flosser because there'll be times if you don't have a car, you don't have a car. Yeah. You just don't. You'll walk and drive and use safe border. Hello. So just live in your truth. Be patient and work on yourself. So my parting shots.
Nice. Then two, number one is be the best that you can be. I'm not talking about YOLO. I'm talking about being the best you can truly be. Like whatever you're touching, make sure you leave no regrets. Like do it very good and to your own satisfaction. Okay, if you're saying I'm going to school and I'm going to finish well. Okay, if you're working on a project, make sure you do it well. Another thing is be passionate, always be passionate and be grateful for what you have. Okay, life is too short. I'm just from a children's home and I've seen these kids have no idea that they're suffering, but because we have the perspective, I'm like, wow, like these kids don't deserve this, you understand? But for them, they're holding me, they jump on me, they call me uncle, and in my heart, I'm like, wow, look at how free-minded they're. Like they're grateful for fetching water every evening. For you, water potatoes for 30 minutes and making noise, you know? Yeah, and then another thing, with your passion, learn how to create something that you can do even if you're fired from job. Be the best that you can be, just be a good person and be grateful. That's it.